Welcome back to FM Story. It's time for season 14 of the South American Glory Hunt save. We are still with Millonarios, who we won the Clausura Championship with last season, which means that we're now halfway to securing the league title in Colombia. Because there's not one league title in the season, there's two. We decided we needed to win both the Apertura and the Clausura. It didn't need to be in the same season, and it didn't even need to be with the same club. We had a crazy run of form after we took over at Millonarios, so hopefully we can continue that on into a new season. We've done a bit of work in the transfer window, so without further ado, let's get into the action. So, starting with the transfer activity, there was quite a bit happened. Some of it was already done before we took over, both the ins and the outs, and then some of it has happened since then. In terms of the players that left, sort of in early January, Indeburo was starting at left back for us last season. He'd already agreed a deal to go to Penarol before we took over. Ever Moreno is a young, promising midfielder, but isn't really ready to play every game, so he's gone out on loan. Stefano Marino, another one that was already done before we took over, and then a few more players have gone out on loan. In terms of the incomings, there was a couple of deals that had already been done before we took charge. Firstly, Victor Osorio's come in as a right back who isn't, he's only 19, but he's nowhere near good enough for the first team at this stage. And Olas Vilches came in on a free from Cacuto Deportivo. Not certain that he's going to be a first choice or anything other than an option off the bench. And rather weirdly, primary position centre forward has played in both fullback roles, which seems slightly bizarre. And then we then obviously had a bit of work done in the transfer window. So firstly, we picked up Cristiano Lopez at the end of his contract with Sao Paulo. He's only 18, looks promising, more a backup option going forward, I think. Then we've gone to River Plate to pick up Leonardo Cardoso, central midfielder. Immediately comes in and becomes one of our best central midfielders. He is just coming back off a long injury for a slipped disc. So he's not probably going to be ready for the start of the season, but hopefully as we go through the season, he can force his way into the team. We've then gone to Chile and picked up a young centre-half, 18 years old, 2 caps for Chile already. Gerardo Carvajal looks a really decent player, good defensively, a big body as well at 6'3". And then the next signing is a goalkeeper. So we did have Felipe Parra as our backup goalkeeper last season. He's retired at the end of the season. So we've gone and signed a player who I think played 48 games last season for Deportes Tolima in Yarlin Cabarike. Really good looking goalkeeper. Not as good as Molina. So he is going to be the backup, but he is only 21 as well. But that should provide us with a bit of strength should anything happen to Molina. And also, we did experience a time last season where Molina was away on international duty, so we needed a replacement at that point. We've then signed Carlos Angulo, who can play right back or he can play left back. I think probably to start the season he's probably going to play left back as the replacement for Indeburo, who'd left. And then the final signing we've made so far is we've gone back to Atletico Mineiro and we've brought in Pablo Negredo, who did a great job for us at Atletico Mineiro, 66 goals in 131 games. Immediately comes in and is right up there at the top of our strikers and hopefully can score goals for us in this league. He's quick, he's good at finishing, good technique, good off the ball. Hopefully that gets him into positions and hopefully we can get some goals from him to fire us up the table. So we actually have somehow become favourites for the Apertura. It might be because of our performance in the Clausura. We have got 6 members of the Media Dream 11 with Molina in goal, Perez, the young right back who we've been fending off offers for all off-season, Carvajal, who's just come in, Puerta in the middle of the pitch, Belalcazar, who we managed to get to sign a new contract towards the end of last season, and Negredo up front. We've played one sort of semi-competitive game so far. We've had the Supercopa first leg, which we drew 3-3 at home against Inter de Palmira, but we're about to get the Apertura League campaign underway with an away trip to Union Magdalena. So this is the side we've picked for the first game of the season. As we said, Angulo's going to start at left back with Perez at right back. Carvajal immediately goes into the back four with Canosa. We've moved Sevillon Perez into the defensive midfield role. And we've gone with Negredo up front. Belalcazar is on the bench because he is coming back from an injury and not fully fit. And as we said, Cardoso isn't ready for a fitness test yet. So they're going with a sort of 5-2-3. We're going with the 4-3-3. Right, a corner for us. Avila to take it in towards the middle of the goal. And Canosa at 6'6" gets up above everyone, powers the header down, puts us 1-0 up. And a great start to this Apertura campaign. Just floated into the middle of the box, gets up on the 6-yard box, and just powers it down into the back of the net. And then from the kick-off, they're trying to pass the way through the middle. Avila gets back to win it and goes back to Molina. He finds Carvajal. Now Puerta onto Angulo. Perez now down the right. Into Puerta in the box, squares it, gets deflected away from Negredo, and they clear the ball up the field. And they go long from the goal kick. Carvajal gets his head on it. Puerta's beaten to the low ball, but Carvajal then makes a challenge and then wins it back. Into Perez. Now Menezes onto Avila. Canosa. Avila finds Angulo on the overlap. Drives infield onto his right foot. And his low shot's gathered well by the keeper. Carvajal again cutting one out. He started nice and tidily. Although he's about to give the ball away here, I think. No. Hammered up long, but it's just going to come back at us. Perez gets back. We've got a sloppy with it now. We're giving the ball away. And we've got away with one there because that should have been 1-1. And there we are, half-time 1-0. We started well, but we've had very little of the ball. And, it really should be 1-1. They should have scored that chance. We do need to play better in the second half. Right, we've made a change at half-time. Carvajal was struggling a bit fitness-wise, so we brought Cristiano Lopez on and we've moved Sevillon Perez back into the back four. And Angulo on the left here. Into Canosa. Lopez goes back to Molina. Out to Cesar Perez. Carlos Perez to Sevillon Perez. This is going to get confusing again like it did last season. I have a feeling we're going to give the ball away in our own half here and get punished for it. Molina out to Angulo. Driving in midfield. Puerta into the box. Finds the back of the net. And a good start to the second half. Kept the ball well. And sprung on them with... this ball comes to Angulo and he just drives through the middle of the pitch. And then slots it into Puerta, whose first touch gets it out in front of him. And he dispatches it past the keeper. Right, a throw by the corner flag for us. Perez to Puerta. Angulo into the box, and that's a wild shot, high and wide up behind the goal. Right, we made another couple of changes. Belalcazar's come on the right, and Arismendi, who we signed last season but couldn't register, has come on up top. Angulo to Avila. Lopez now finds Puerta. Perez to Belalcazar. Belalcazar now on the right. Keeps it in. Goes back to Ceballos, Perez. And then Carlos Perez. Cross towards the back post. Headed away from Avila. Angulo, though, fires it in low. And they've just sort of scrambled it clear. But Angulo again aims for Belalcazar at the back post. Headed in off the underside of the bar. But was he onside? And it's been given. So Angulo then went into the box and played it. It came back out. Can also find Angulo, who just lifts it to the back post. And the header off the underside of the bar, and it just about creeps over the line. And that's well onside. Right, goal kick for them. It's gone long. Vilches, who is our centre forward that has played right back and left back. We brought him on a right back because Perez and Angulo needed a break. But then Barrio, who'd come on for Indeburo's just giving it away there. And they're in behind. And that's 3-1. Yeah, that's not quite what we were looking for, especially from Barrio, who's an experienced player. And Segura bursts past Canosa, fires it past the keeper with the aid of the post. Right, another goal kick for them. Even long. Lopez wins the header. Puerta in behind for Arismendi. Gets his first goal for the club. Just a simple ball from Puerta, really, once he got it. And a lovely finish. Just chips into the midfield. Lopez heads it down. Puerta takes a touch, slides it for the runner, Arismendi, takes a touch, and then just fires it across goal. And there we go, full time, 4-1 on the opening day of the season. A good start, but still a long way to go if we want to achieve the Apertura title and finish off everything in Colombia. We've now made it to the end of February. We've got a big game, big top of the table clash coming up against Atletico Nacional. And basically things have gone outstandingly well since we started the season. We have done some more work in the transfer window before it closed. So in terms of the outgoings, there's another few players gone out on loan, and we've sold Rodan Valencia because he wanted to play and he wasn't never going to be good enough to get into the first team picture. So he's gone to Coritiba for 1.6 million. And then in terms of the incomings, we picked up Josimar Portela as a right back to be cover for Carlos Perez because we don't really have the cover at left back to allow Angulo to play at right back. And we needed that because Carlos Perez had actually picked up a knock and was out for a couple of weeks. And then we've gone back to Atletico Mineiro to bring in Adrian Niagu on loan. Quality player. Was outstanding for us at Atletico Mineiro. Hasn't really settled yet. He's only played 2 games, not had a great game, but did pick up an assist in one of them. We are testing the limits of the foreign players because we're only supposed to be allowed to have 4 foreign players in the squad. We actually have 6 because 2 of the foreign players in Carvajal and Cristiano Lopez that we signed in the off season are under the age of 19 come the start of the season, so they don't need to be registered, which means that we've effectively got an extra 2 foreign players in the squad. The problem then comes with matches in that we're only allowed 3 foreign players on the pitch at any one time, so we are going to have to shuffle things about to get everyone some game time. After the opening day of the season against Magdalena, we drew the second leg against Inter de Palmira in the Superliga and ended up winning on penalties. We then drew 1-1 away at Envigado, which wasn't a great result, but since then we've had a great run. 1-0 at home against Deportivo Cali, 4-0 away against Deportivo Pasto, 5-0 at home against Tigre, 2-0 at home against Deportivo Pereira, 3-1 at home against Atletico Bucaramanga, 5-2 away at Independiente Santa Fe, and 3-1 at home against Cúcuta Deportivo. So we've had a really decent run so far. We have this game coming up against Atletico Nacional next. We are top of the table with 25 points out of a maximum of 27, just the one draw of dropped points. Atletico Nacional have got a game in hand on us and are 6 points behind as we stand at the moment. And we've done pretty well in terms of the individual stats. So Negredo and Puerta both second top scorer with 6. Avia top of the assists. Molina second in terms of clean sheets so far. So things are going well. Hopefully we can continue with that. We've had the draw for the Copa Libertadores. We've been drawn against Bragantino, Juventud, and Union. So it's not actually the most straightforward of groups. Luckily, we don't need to bother too much about that because we've already won the Copa Libertadores in the save so far. But now we turn attention to the game against Atletico Nacional. We are missing a couple of players. Flet's been out all season with that broken leg. Menezes is out as well. And hopefully we can come away with another 3 points to keep this run of form going. So this is the side we've picked for the game at Atletico Nacional. We've made a couple of changes. So Cerveleon Perez has dropped back from the defensive midfield role into the centre of defence. Carvajal has dropped to the bench just to give him a rest because he's only 18. We've brought Cardoso in to partner Niagu in the centre of midfield. So the 3 foreign players that are starting are Canoso, Cardoso and Niagu. We've given Arizmendi the start through the middle, and Negredo's getting a bit of a rest on the bench as well. It's 4-3-3 against a 4-2-3-1 for them. None of their players seem to be ones that are still around from when we were in charge. But from the kick-off, Canoso to Niagu, Avia back to Canosa. Puerta swings it wide. Belalcazar infield over the top of Avia. Angulo swings it to the back post. And Belalcazar's header comes back off the bar. Right, free kick for us, Niagu to take it. Lifts it over the wall. And it goes wide of the post, just didn't bend enough. Right, corner, Angulo to take it. Lifts it towards the back post. It's up in the air. Headed clear. And now they're looking to break. But Avia wins it back. Then gives it away. And now they are breaking again. He's gone past our player there. Niagu cuts it out though. He gives it away. We've got very sloppy on the ball, and it might cost us here because they're into the box. Angulo wins a challenge. It's a really weird highlight of sloppy play from both sides. Belalcazar now down the right. Infield, Cardoso back to Belalcazar. Cardoso wide to Avia. Low ball into the box. Arizmendi turns it home, but he must be offside there. Has to be. It's been given though. So Cardoso just lifts it out to the left-hand side. Avia takes a touch, plays it in. The only player that could have been playing him on side was the defender that went out towards Avia, but we've got lucky with that one, but we'll take it. And there we are, half-time, 1-0 up. I mean, we've looked the more dominant team. We just need to make sure we don't do anything stupid in the second half. No changes at half-time for us. We'll just keep the same team out there for a while, but not much happening at the start of the second half by the looks of it. Right, so we made a few changes to get some fresh legs on the pitch. This has been a very, very quiet second half, but we'll take it as long as they don't get the equaliser. And there we are, full time, very quiet second half, but we've managed to hold on to the clean sheet. We've held on to the 1-0 victory, another 3 points added to the total, and hopefully we can just keep this run of form going. And there we are, the end of another episode, and season 14 has started unbelievably well, clear at the top of the table, and hopefully we can continue that run into the next episode, make sure we qualify for the semi-final stage, and then hopefully avoid the curse of finishing top of the league and not making it into the final of the Apertura. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.